If you had told me 6 months ago that my picture-perfect wife and my best friend were playing naked twister behind my back, I would have laughed so hard I'd have pulled a muscle. My marriage wasn't just stable, it was the kind of stability people wrote smug social media posts about. Hashtags like blessed and forever and always. We practically invented them. Lauren and I had been married 6 years, 6 solid years. We had the traditions, Friday night board games, Catan brought out her competitive side, Sunday brunches with her famous French toast. The secret ingredient was literally just nutmeg, but I never had the heart to tell her. And those occasional weekend getaways to cabins where Wi-Fi was optional and red wine mandatory. You get the picture. She worked in marketing, one of those brand storytelling roles that always sounded fancier than it actually was. Sometimes she came home late, claimed it was because of last-minute campaigns or client crises. I bought it. Why wouldn't I? The woman once made me a photo album filled with Polaroids of our favorite moments for no reason other than I saw it in a movie and thought of us. That album is still sitting on our shelf, right between modern mixology and how to keep a marriage hot after 30. Oh, the irony. And then there was Zach. Ah, good old Zach. He was the kind of guy everyone liked. The he'll help you move a couch and bring beer after guy. Lauren and Zach had known each other since high school, which, at the time, I considered a plus. No awkward friend-zoning drama, I used to say. They're like siblings. Yeah. Freud would have had a field day with that one. Zach was over at our place so often I half-joked that I should add him to the HOA mailing list. He helped us fix a leak in the bathroom, set up our outdoor fire pit, even helped me paint the garage last spring while Lauren played DJ and made margaritas. It was domestic bliss, or at least, that's what it looked like from the outside. Hell, that's what it looked like from my side. If you're waiting for the moment where I noticed something was off, don't. That's the messed up part. There was no strange perfume, no sudden disinterest in intimacy, no hushed phone calls or disappearing acts. Nothing. Nada. My wife was affectionate, attentive, and just last month surprised me with tickets to a John Mayer concert because it reminded her of our college road trip. We even slow danced in the kitchen to Gravity afterward. So yeah, when the doorbell rang on a Tuesday afternoon and I signed for an unmarked package with my name on it, betrayal wasn't even on my radar. Suspicion? Zero. I thought maybe Lauren ordered one of those subscription boxes, socks, gourmet snacks, or one of those monthly man crate things. But there was no branding, no return address, just a box inside a box, and a little flash drive tucked into a bed of black tissue paper. Next to it was a note, handwritten, block letters. You deserve to know the truth. Just watch. Now, normally, if I get something cryptic like that, I assume it's a prank, maybe even a phishing scam. But there was no link to click, no app to download, just a drive labeled Play Me. And let me tell you, if there's one thing Hollywood's taught us, it's that nothing good ever comes from a file called that. Still, I plugged it into my laptop. Curiosity beats caution every damn time. There was just one file on it, an MP4. I hovered the mouse over it for a good minute. Something in my gut tensed, but I still didn't expect anything real. I figured it'd be a jump scare video or some chain letter nonsense. Then I hit play. What I saw wasn't grainy or shaky like I expected. It was high quality, 1080p, maybe even 4K. Someone knew what they were doing. The camera was angled from across the street, hidden behind something. Trees, maybe. The lighting was perfect. Lauren walked out of our house. That's what hit first. The outfit. Not her usual pencil skirt and blazer combo. No, this was something shorter, way shorter. A black dress that didn't leave much to the imagination and heels I'd never seen before. She looked like she was headed for a date, not a client meeting. And then, the car pulled up. Zach's car. He got out, grinning, wearing that same smug leather jacket he always rocked when he wanted to look cool. They didn't talk, didn't even hesitate. He opened his arms and she melted into him like this was their usual Tuesday ritual. Then came the kiss, the kind that makes teenagers blush. Pause the video. My mind was trying to catch up. Maybe it was a deep fake? Some kind of sick prank? I backed it up and played again. Same scene, same movements, my porch, my wife, my best friend. The video kept going. There were more clips, different days, different angles. Once, they were walking into a hotel. Another time, Lauren leaned over in his car, laughing and touching his chest like she used to do to me when we first started dating. I recognized the necklace she was wearing. I bought it for our anniversary. Apparently, it went well with Betrayal. I watched in silence. Didn't scream, didn't cry, just stared. It's funny what your brain does when your world shifts. I started remembering random things. The time she said she was flying to Austin for a 2-day conference, same week as one of the videos. The night Zach brought over wine and said he was just helping her with marketing ideas. The way they high-fived each other in the kitchen once and then shared a look I chalked up to an inside joke. Turns out, the joke was on me. I sat back in my chair, the glow from the laptop burning into my retinas. My hands were clenched, but not shaking. Not yet. I felt hollow, not angry, not sad, just emptied out. For the first time in a long time, I didn't know what to do. I copied the video onto an external drive, then another. I labeled one Taxes 2023 and tossed it into my safe just in case. The original drive went back in its box. I taped it up and shoved it behind the cereal boxes. No one ever goes back there. That night, Lauren came home late. Said her team had a dinner meeting that ran long, kissed me on the cheek, smelled like her usual vanilla perfume. She laughed, at something on her phone, and asked if I wanted to rewatch The Office for the 100th time. I told her maybe later. I was tired, and I was. Tired of being a damn fool. I didn't confront her. Not then. Not yet. I needed to think, to plan. To figure out who the hell sent me that package and why. But mostly, I needed to see just how deep the rabbit hole went, because if Lauren and Zach thought they were slick, they were about to learn that I wasn't the kind of guy you double-cross without consequences. The next morning, I made coffee like I always do. 2 cups. Hers with that oat milk creamer she likes, vanilla bean. Mine, black like my mood. Lauren walked into the kitchen like she hadn't been caught red-lipped and backstabbing just 12 hours earlier. She was humming, barefoot, scrolling through. Her phone, probably texting Zach memes or deciding which hotel lobby had the best lighting. "Sleep okay?" she asked. I smiled. "Best sleep I've had in a while?" She smiled back. No clue, no guilt. If there was an award for Best Actress in a Domestic Drama, Lauren would be walking that red carpet with Zach on her arm. I watched her take a sip, then grabbed my bag and headed out. But not to work. I called out sick. And no, I didn't go on a vengeance spree. Yet. I went to Best Buy, bought a hidden camera disguised as a Bluetooth speaker. Also picked up a dash cam with parking mode. You'd be surprised how easy it is to become a low-budget private investigator in 2025. YouTube taught me everything. By noon, the camera was tucked on our bookshelf facing the living room. Another one in the bedroom, pointing toward the closet. I wasn't hoping for a full-blown home movie, just audio, conversations, whispers. Maybe the next time she had one of those emotional phone calls with her mom, I'd find out if her mom had a 5 o'clock shadow and a gym membership. Then came the car cam. I installed it in her SUV while she was at yoga. The irony wasn't lost on me. She was aligning her chakras while I was aligning a lens to capture her lies. I played it cool for days, smiled, kissed her forehead, even suggested a weekend getaway. She lit up like Christmas morning. Said she missed our quality time. Right. Meanwhile, I had hours of footage to sort through. Most of it was mundane. Her singing along to the radio, grabbing Starbucks, complaining about traffic. But on Thursday, things got interesting. Audio from the bookshelf cam caught her pacing in the living room. "He has no idea," she said. There was a pause, some rustling, then her voice dropped. "Just hold on. We're almost there." "Don't. Screw this up now." I paused the playback, rewound, listened again. "Don't screw this up now." What did that mean? Almost there, how? Was she planning to leave me, run off with Zach? Drain our savings and go full Bonnie and Clyde with a guy who still wore cargo shorts? I kept listening. Zach's voice was faint, probably on speaker, but I caught bits and pieces. He's too trusting, Another week, maybe two. We need to be smart. Smart? They were practically leaving a breadcrumb trail at this point. Hell, even Scooby-Doo could have cracked this case. Then came the kicker. Lauren, once we're past this, you and I can finally be us. My stomach turned, not from heartbreak, from sheer disgust. I wasn't living with a cheater. I was living with a planner, a schemer, someone who looked me in the eye, kissed me goodnight, and probably laughed about it later with her boyfriend of the month. I didn't sleep that night. I watched the footage again, not because I needed proof. I already had enough to make a Netflix docuseries, but because I wanted to understand how deep it all went. That's when I remembered the first package, the anonymous sender, the neat handwriting, the way they wrote, "You deserve to know the truth." Who the hell were they? A friend? A neighbor? Someone else Zach had wronged? Whoever they were, they knew more than they let on, and they weren't done. Because 3 days later, the second package arrived. Same plain brown box, same no-return address deal. Inside, a stack of printed photos, glossy, high-res, and way too specific. Zach and Lauren walking into a motel. Lauren sitting on his lap in a parked car. One particularly classy shot of her fixing her hair in his rearview mirror. And then, another note. This is just the beginning. They won't stop. You need to decide what kind of man you are. Well, damn. If the first note was a nudge, this one was a slap in the face. Someone out there wanted me to act. They wanted me to take control. And honestly, they weren't wrong. But I wasn't about to flip a table and scream, "You cheated on me with my best friend, you succubus." I don't do dramatic. I do effective. So I hatched a plan. The next evening, over dinner, I asked Lauren what she thought about hosting a little get-together. "You know," I said, "like old times. Just you, me, and Zach. Maybe a wine night." She blinked. "Really? That's random." "I've just been feeling nostalgic," I replied, swirling my spaghetti. "Thought it might be nice." She smiled. "Sure, I'll text him." And just like that, the trap was set. I spent the next 48 hours prepping. Not just food, not just wine. I prepped my tech, pulled the best clips from the videos, synced them to my laptop, hooked it all up to the living room projector. I even tested it twice to make sure there were no buffering issues. If I was going to burn this illusion to the ground, it had to be in HD. The night arrived. Zach showed up with a bottle of Cabernet and his usual "I'm the cool friend" swagger. Lauren looked stunning like she always does. Red dress, heels, that necklace again. I guess betrayal pairs well with rubies. We sat, we ate, we laughed. I asked Zach about work. "Still working with those influencers?" I asked. "Or just influencing? Wives now?" He chuckled, not catching the tone. "You know, same ol'." I nodded. "Cool, cool." Then I stood up, walked over to the projector and said, "Hey, I put together a little something. Thought you two would appreciate a walk down memory lane." Zach looked confused. Lauren blinked. "What do you mean?" I hit play. The first scene was the porch kiss, silent, slow, beautifully framed. It was practically art. Silence filled the room like a fog. Zach's face drained of color. Lauren's fork clinked against her plate as it dropped. I paused after the hotel clip. Turned to them. "I've known for weeks," I said. "Been collecting footage, audio, GPS logs. Hell, I even have your favorite songs on a playlist if you want the full vibe." Lauren opened her mouth. Closed it. Tears welled up. Zach muttered, "Dan, listen." "No," I cut in. "You don't get to talk. Not in my house. Not after lying to my face and helping yourself to my wife like she was a Costco sample." Lauren broke down. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." "Oh? So how was it supposed to happen, Lauren? You ride off into the sunset with Mr. Cargo Shorts while I cry into my cereal?" She cried harder. Zach stood up. "I'm sorry. I just looked at him." "Leave." He did. I turned back to Lauren. "Here's the deal. You can pack your things and leave tonight. No drama, no theatrics. Or I send every video, every photo, and every recording to our friends, family, and that women's empowerment group you just gave a TED Talk to." She stared at me. "You wouldn't try me." 10 minutes later, she was packing. And me? I poured myself a drink, sat on the couch, and for the first time in weeks, felt something that almost resembled peace. Almost. Lauren moved out that night. She didn't even fight it. She packed like someone on autopilot, robotically folding her cardigans and stuffing her jewelry into little zip bags. At one point, she tried to say something. Maybe an apology, maybe an excuse. But I didn't ask. Didn't want to. Hear how complicated it all was. Adultery's not a Sudoku puzzle, it's just selfish. She paused at the door with her bags, mascara streaked and lips trembling. You're not going to send the videos, right? I looked up from my drink. Bourbon, 2 fingers, no ice. That depends. You planning on rewriting history to make yourself the victim? She blinked. Didn't think so. She nodded, gave one last pitiful glance around the house, and walked out. I didn't follow. Didn't watch her drive off. Just sat there in the quiet hum of my home. Or what used to be my home, before it became a crime scene with throw pillows and scented candles. The next few days were weird, like really weird. You don't realize how many routines you share with someone until they're gone. I reached for 2 coffee mugs, took out 2 plates, looked at the couch and half expected to see her curled up in a blanket watching trashy reality TV. Instead, silence. Lots of it. And yet, I didn't feel broken, not even bruised. Mostly, I just felt clear. Like someone turned the fog lights on in my head. I spent a lot of that week cleaning, replacing bed sheets, taking down framed photos. I tossed the photo album she made into a box labeled Misc Trash. Didn't burn it, just shelved it next to my high school yearbooks and that copy of Eat, Pray, Love someone gave me as a joke. Then came the part I'd been putting off, dealing with Zach. He hadn't tried to reach out. No texts, no calls. He knew better. But that didn't mean I was done with him. Zach and I worked in overlapping industries, marketing and media, same circles, same events, same LinkedIn connections. So I forwarded one of the videos, the hotel entrance clip, to a friend of ours who worked at Zach's company. Subject line, thought you should see what your creative director's been up to. I didn't add a caption, didn't need to. The fallout came quick. By the end of the week, Zach was no longer with the company. Their PR statement said he was pursuing new opportunities. I imagine those opportunities involved rethinking every choice he made since junior prom. As for Lauren, word got around. Our friends were stunned. Most of them sided with me, naturally. A few tried to stay neutral. That didn't last long. Once they saw the footage, yes, I shared it with only the relevant parties, the loyalty line was drawn in Sharpie. Even her own sister texted me, Dan, I don't even know what to say. I'm so sorry. She doesn't deserve you. I resisted the urge to text back. Apparently, Zach thought she didn't either. Instead, I wrote, no worries, it's handled. And it was, for the most part. But there was still one thing bugging me. Who sent the packages? The first flash drive? The photos? The anonymous notes? It wasn't Lauren. Definitely not Zach. And if it was one of our friends, they would have bragged about it by now. People love being heroes, so I started digging. Pulled metadata from the original video files. One of them had a GPS tag, an address that didn't match ours. Cross-referenced it. Turned out to be a parking garage across from the hotel Lauren and Zach frequented. I visited it, spoke to the guy working the booth. Retired vet named Jerry. Real straight shooter. I asked him if anyone had been hanging around recently, maybe with a camera. He scratched his head and said, there's this girl who parks here sometimes. Real quiet. Always has her laptop. Sits in her car for hours. What kind of car? Red. Civic. Kinda beat up. Ohio plates. I smiled. That narrowed it down. Took me 2 days of staking out the garage with coffee and patience. But eventually, jackpot. A red Civic pulled in. Inside, a woman, maybe late 20s, earbuds in, typing, like mad on a MacBook. She looked familiar. Wait. She was Zach's ex. From before Lauren. They dated years ago. Broke up messy, if I remember right. He cheated on her, too. I didn't think much of her back then. Quiet, Smart. Always observing. I walked up, gently. Knocked on her window. She jumped, then cracked it open. "Hey," I said. "I think we both know why I'm here." She blinked, then nodded. "You figured it out?" Eventually, she sighed. "Sorry, I just couldn't sit back and watch them do that to you. You didn't deserve it." I nodded. "Thanks for the heads up." "Seriously," she smiled a little. "Guess revenge has its moments." We didn't exchange numbers, didn't promise to keep in touch, just a quiet understanding. Then she drove off. No dramatic music, just closure. And now, it's been a couple of months. The dust has settled. The house is quieter but cleaner. I swapped our Live, Laugh, Love decor for framed movie posters and a punching bag in the garage. Feels more like mine now. I go out more. Reconnected with old friends. Tried rock climbing last week. I suck at it, but it feels good to try. Things again. Things that don't involve pretending everything's fine when it's not. I don't hate Lauren. I don't wish Zach gets hit by a bus. Well, maybe a small one going 5 miles an hour. I just don't think about them much anymore. Sometimes people ask how I stayed so calm, how I didn't snap or explode or go scorched earth. Truth is, I don't see the point in throwing gasoline on a dumpster fire. They torched something good. I just made sure they got burned by it. And if there's a lesson in all of this, it's simple. Always trust your gut. And if a mystery package shows up at your door, maybe open it. You never know. It might just save you from wasting another year on someone who doesn't deserve your loyalty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a new Friday tradition. Whiskey, a good playlist, and absolutely no board games.